I'm going to speak with you today about Madame C.J. Walker as someone that lived through the postbellum era in America. She was born Sarah Breedlove near Delta, Louisiana in 1867 to sharecroppers and former slaves. She was the first person in her family to be born free. She was orphaned at 7. After her parents died, she moved with her sister and brother-in-law to Vicksburg, Mississippi. She worked as a laundress. She married Moses McWilliams when she was 14 years old and gave birth to her daughter, Layla, at 17. She was widowed at 20. Shortly thereafter, she moved to St. Louis with her daughter. Her brothers worked there as barbers. She made about $1.50 a day doing wash in St. Louis. After getting married the first time, Sarah opened her own laundry business. She couldn't compete with the productivity and the speed of the Chinese or the commercial operation laundry business in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So, as a marketing strategy, she decided that she would dress and behave as the Ladies' Home Journal advised people to do. So, her goal was to have white women with money to trust her to do their laundry. So she would hold herself high and be staunch and upright. She would wear a plain dark skirt and a clean white blouse. And she would sell what she had, which was herself, her reliability, her skill, and what she knew as her ability to do laundry and to do it well. That ends up being important later in life. Some labor statistics at the time in St. Louis. In 1887, St. Louis Public Schools did a survey where 579 black parents were surveyed. 22.6% of the parents said they were laundresses, and 46.2% said that they were laborers. This came out of a very interesting book that Beverly Laurie wrote called Her Dream of Dreams, The Rise and Triumph of Madame C.J. Walker. This was written in 2003. So, as a comparison, in 1920, nationwide, 80% of African American women that were not working in agriculture were still maids, cooks, or washerwomen. So, there was not a lot of opportunity for African American women at the time. There's another study that was conducted in 1903 by Lillian Bryant called The Negroes of St. Louis. This was published from the American Statistical Association. Again, it was in 1903. They found that there was 11,060 black women between the ages of 15 and 44 in St. Louis, and there was 31.14% of the population. And then 1870, 3 out of the 12 wards in St. Louis contained 55% of the black population, and the wards were designed as black, white, immigrant, etc., to separate the different populations. The immigrants at the time in St. Louis were primarily German and Irish. If a black family wanted to rent a house that a white family previously rented, they would have to pay 20% more. This is one of the ways that they kept people out of certain neighborhoods by charging people more. So Brandon suggests that black entrepreneurs would draw in, close off, and target people of their own race to do business with. And that is what she discovered in her research. So she developed a set disorder in the 1890s, and she lost a lot of her hair. She began to experiment with store-bought and home remedies. She began selling Poro products door to door. These were hair products that she had found. She moved to Denver, Colorado as a commission agent for Annie Turbo Malone, who was the owner of the Poro products that she was selling. She was also employed at in Denver as a cook for a pharmacist. This pharmacist taught her basic chemistry. She married her second husband, Charles Joseph Walker, in Denver. Though she had met him in St. Louis, he moved to Denver and married her a couple years later. And that is where she took her name of Madame C.J. Walker. And she developed the Walker method for hair care and products for African American hair. She launched her own line of products with only $1.25, and within a year, she started doing business of $25 to $35 a week. Her and her husband traveled selling products door to door throughout the South and the Southeast. They opened a factory and a beauty school in Pittsburgh in 1908. By 1910, the company profits were equivalent of several $1,000,000, and they transferred all the operations to Indianapolis. One reason that Madame C.J. Walker manufacturing grew as fast as it was able to was because of the unregulated market of the time. We read Richard Benzel's Chapter 5 in the political construct of the national market. Reading that we had this week, and it explains a little bit about the national market at the time and how there wasn't as many barriers to entry in the market. So that helped her to get into it. She believed very much in the personal approach in sales. So she had these trained sales beauticians called Walker agents. By 1916, there was 20,000, a little over 20,000. There were 25,000 Walker agents, sales agents by 1919. And she was able to provide career opportunities for thousands of Black women who otherwise would not have been able to serve as anything other than maids, cooks, laundresses, and farmhands. And she gave them careers that were outside of those fields. So in 1916, Sarah moved to Harlem, continued to operate her business. Her day-to-day operations of the factory in Indianapolis were ran by her forelady. She died on May 25th, 1919, at 51 years old. She left a wonderful legacy when she did pass. She had employed 40,000 Black men and women in the United States, Central America, and the Caribbean. She founded the National Negro Cosmetic Manufacturers Association. Her business sales exceeded $500,000 her final year of life. Her total worth was between $1 to $2 million. She had properties in New York, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. She contributed $1,000 to the YMCA Building Fund in Indianapolis, provided several scholarships at Black colleges and boarding schools, donated $5,000 to the NAACP's Anti-Lynching Fund, financially supported orphans and retirement homes. On her death, she gave 2/3 of future net profits to charity and 1/3 to her daughter. And then she became one of the first Black self-made millionaires and one of the first women self-made millionaires. And then here is my bibliography. I hope that you had as much fun learning about her as I did researching her. Thank you.